Imagine this. You open your computer, click your browser like you always do, type in a search, and expect Google to show you everything. But this time, something different happens. The browser you know starts acting like an assistant. It summarizes pages, booking trips, even doing shopping for you. And behind the scenes, a brand new challenge is forming in the world of tech giants. The maker of the once unstoppable Google is now under threat, not from a brand new search engine, but from a browser built around the chatbot that changed everything. ChatGPT. OpenAI launched ChatGPT Atlas, and with it, they're trying to do more than change a browser. They're trying to change the internet. Meanwhile, Google's value took a hit. So what exactly is going on? How big is this threat? And could this browser really rewrite the rules of the web? Stay with me, because this story is far bigger than just new browser coming. For years, Google hasn't just been a search engine, it's been the gateway to the internet. Their browser, Google Chrome, dominates. Billions of downloads, default browser on countless devices. Because when you control how people browse, you control data. You control ads, you control traffic. You even influence what websites succeed or fail. Chrome isn't just convenient, it's strategic. It feeds into Google's ad business, gives the company data on user behavior, and keeps people locked into Google's ecosystem. But with such power comes risk. When the world changes, when users, technology, and expectations shift, empires can wobble. And that's where OpenAI saw their chance. OpenAI made waves with their chatbot, ChatGPT, and now they're aiming even higher. Instead of just being something you open after a browser, what if the browser is the chatbot? What if your browser doesn't just show you websites, it helps you use them? On October 21st, 2025, they announced ChatGPT Atlas, a browser built with ChatGPT at its core. It launched on macOS, with Windows, iOS, and Android coming soon. Atlas integrates ChatGPT directly into the browser. You can ask questions about the page you're on, summarize content, compare products, even use a so-called agent mode, where the AI does things for you. Travels research, shopping, tasks. Now think about that for a second. Your browser no longer a passive window, it becomes an active partner. You're browsing, and it's browsing with you. It learns, it remembers, it assists. And that might sound futuristic, but it's here. The implication? If users start using Atlas instead of Chrome, OpenAI could tap into the world of web data, browsing behavior, ad revenue, and challenge Google's dominance. Even before full rollout, the market noticed. Google's parent company dropped in share price as news broke. Let's look at what makes Atlas different. Instead of switching between your browser and ChatGPT, Atlas brings ChatGPT into your browsing. Want to know if that sandwich you saw is worth it? Click the sidebar. Want to compare 2 flight sites you're browsing? Ask the AI. The browser remembers your tabs, your bookmarks, your history if you allow it. It tries to assist rather than just show. For many users, this could save time, reduce friction, make the web simpler. But for the web ecosystem, publishers, advertisers, search engines, this potentially shifts the value chain. If instead of clicking dozens of websites, you get a one-stop ChatGPT answer, fewer site visits could mean less ad revenue, fewer eyeballs for content creators. It could also mean less visibility for smaller websites, since the AI might surface what it decides is best rather than letting you browse freely. The browser war is more than just tabs and search bars. It's about who owns the beginning of your web session, who sees your clicks, who knows what you do online. Why the panic? Because Chrome isn't just a browser, it's infrastructure for Google's business. When Chrome dominates the tab market, Google gathers mountains of data. What sites people visit, how they behave, what they click. That means better ads, better targeting, and huge profit. If Atlas takes even a small chunk of that, and more importantly, changes how search is done, Google's model could lose efficiency. The moment the Atlas announcement hit, Google's shares dipped. One article reported a $100 billion market cap hit. That's a big warning sign. But hold on. This isn't a guaranteed overthrow. Google still has billions of users, huge infrastructure, and many defenses. Changing browsing habits takes time. Atlas faces hurdles. It's currently on macOS only. It's built on Chromium, the same engine as Chrome, so Google's foundational tech still partly powers it. Also, privacy concerns and user trust matter. If users feel Atlas is too invasive, they may resist. And for OpenAI, moving into browser, plus ad or data business is a new territory. Being a good assistant doesn't automatically mean winning the web. Analysts say the window is once in a decade. but the risk is real. What does this mean for you? For you, your browser could start acting like you, not just reacting. That could save time, but also raise questions about what data the browser holds about you. The line between assistant and platform could blur. Your searches, your clicks, your habits could all feed into how the browser knows you. You may ask, do I want a browser that remembers every detail? Do I trust the company behind it? For business or ad industry, if Chrome loses dominance, ad targeting might shift. New players, new models, and a shakeup of how we monetize the web. Search may become less about links and more about answers. That could shrink traditional click-based ad models. Publishers may need to rethink how they drive traffic, how they get visibility, how they monetize when fewer people click through. For publishers or media, if Atlas gives you summarized content inside the browser sidebar, fewer clicks might mean less traffic to news sites. Imagine more answer boxes instead of site visits. That shift could reduce referral traffic, reduce ad impressions, reduce visibility. It could reshape the economics of online journalism. For Google, they'll likely ramp up AI integration in Chrome, possibly change how they monetize, adapt search interface, maybe even rethink browser strategy. Already we've seen Chrome integrate AI features. This is a response to stay ahead or limit damage. This isn't just a browser war. It's a fight for how the web works, how we interact, how data is collected, and how companies make money. So what should we keep an eye on? How quickly does Atlas expand to Windows, mobile, Android? Rollout speed will matter. Adoption rates. Will users switch from Chrome to Atlas? Any real numbers? Google's response. Will Chrome add new AI features faster? Will they change default search or browser partnerships? Advertising impact. Will we see shifts in ad revenue, click-throughs, or market shares for browser or assistants? Data and trust. If Atlas mishandles privacy, it could backfire badly, not just for OpenAI, but for AI browsing trust overall. What it means for you as a creator, the way the web surfaces information, the way viewers find content, the way traffic works, all of that could shift. If fewer people click through to websites and stay inside the browser assistant view, what happens to creators who rely on clicks? What happens to SEO? What happens to discoverability? In the coming months, we may look back and say this was the moment the web changed direction. Or we might say it was a big splash that fizzled. Here's a thought experiment for you. Imagine a future where your first page load is not google.com, it's atlas.openai.com or browser.openai.com. You ask, plan me a weekend in Malaysia, and instead of clicking hotel sites yourself, the agent in the browser does the browsing, comparison, and booking. The end result? You've done less manual browsing, but you've given up some control. The browser knows more about you, your preferences, your rhythm. This also leads to questions. Who curates the answers? Who pays for the browsing the agent does? Will the agent favor certain links because of business incentives? Will some websites vanish from view because they're deemed suboptimal by the AI? For now, Google is under pressure. OpenAI is stepping into a new battleground, and we're all watching because our browser might be the next big front line. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dives into tech's biggest shifts, hit subscribe and ring that bell. See you in the next one.